No, I am doing pretty good. It's been a long time since we've done a Stickscast. It feels like at least it's been like a week and a
What? No,
half.
we're on our normal schedule. What are you talking about? No.
So I had to take a quick little break, but no, I had a good weekend, nice and fun. I know you didn't have the most fun of weekends.
It always sucks when the refs decide to just decide a game. But what matters is that Kansas City isn't a real place and Missouri's not a real state, and they can take the Super Bowl trophy back there, and it's like putting it in a field because it doesn't really matter. So yeah, doing all right. Doing all right.
Oh.
Just excited to get talking about some Vertigo after our allotted Burundi coverage.
Oh yeah, well, because yeah, here's the thing, right? Oh, I gotta ask, since it's post Super Bowl, well, what was your favorite ad, Isaac?
Honestly, not the strongest year for ads. I
Yeah,
could
no.
go I could go classic Tubi because that made everyone like, oh, except for us because we don't have that type of TV. Um, uh, yeah, I really wouldn't. I wasn't really a big fan of the ads this year. I don't think anything can ever top the 2018 Tide commercial series.
Yeah, that's what I was
Um,
talking about. The Tide ad, that was a good time. We watched that together too, right? You were
yeah,
at, yeah.
that was
I
the
was,
Eagles Patriots Super Bowl.
I really don't remember much from that Super Bowl, which is like kind of insane because like that was a really good one in
Yeah,
retrospect, like looking back at it, but I do not remember that much. I just my main takeaway from that was it was tight ad. And then I think that was the time we almost killed Zach's dog.
what?
Um,
We almost killed
that
Zach's dog.
because I
Also, Philly,
had
Philly, but what?
yeah, but like it was oh, because Roman brought that pie over. It was a huge pie, and we didn't touch most of it. And then I had like Orbit gum, and then the dogs got downstairs and got into the pie and our gum, and we're just like yakking it up, and we're like extremely sick.
I'm not gonna lie, Nels, I don't remember
How
that
do
one.
you not remember that one at all?
Uh,
Were you
I
there?
I I was there. Yeah, I was definitely there, but I don't remember the almost killing Zach's dog.
Dang. Yeah, no. They had to like give like the like charcoal and stuff, right? Like to yak it all up.
What?
Yeah, it was bad.
Wow.
So Super Bowl. But yeah, it's tough. I think I didn't know that it's kind of looking a little tough for the Eagles next year too. Um,
What do you mean? It looks fine for them.
they lost both their coordinators, and the one of the coordinators was calling plays. Uh,
Offensive coordinator, I think, or defensive coordinator, probably. But yeah.
yeah. And then like a lot of the teams going to be free agents next year. I mean,
I
like
mean,
you still have like the core like offense of like Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown and Devonta Smith, but
well, so so Jonathan Gannon was hired, their DC was hired as the head coach for the Cardinals. Their offensive coordinator has been linked to the Colts, but no hire has been made. Um, on offense, the only like starter on offense who's leaving to at least be a free agent this offseason is Miles Sanders. So there's honestly not too much lost. There's almost, I would say, almost nothing lost on the offensive front because they use a committee approach anyways.
mm,
Um, Kelsey might retire.
yeah,
Um,
that's probably it feels like he's going to
but
retire. Well, no, I don't
yeah, I
know.
mean, other than those two, the offense is going to be pretty much unchanged. Unless they draft, I would assume they draft a center, in the first one, maybe a running back in the second. James Bradbury is going to be a free agent. Yeah, I think CJ Gardner Johnson's going to be a free agent, but they're going to bring him back.
Yeah, they have to.
Jalen Hurts is still on his rookie deal next year, even if they give him an extension this offseason. So next year his cap hit's only going to be around 6.8.
Do you think they're going to
Uh,
extend him?
Oh, they're gonna give him a shit ton of money. They
Yeah,
100% will, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I really don't think Philly's in a bad spot right now for next season. I think the year after that they
Ooh.
might be in a little bit more of a tricky spot just because they have they'll have Jalen Hurts who's going to probably take around $40 to $45 million in cap space, and then Devonte Smith is going to need an extension. Dallas Goedert is going to need an extension. Although I think he might have one. No, I think that's his year. And then obviously on the defensive side of things, you got an aging Fletcher Cox, Darius Slay, young linebacking core, which is good. But I think the year after next is going to be a tricky one. But
Mm.
they've done fast rebuilds before, so they'll do it again.
Yeah.
But
And it
yeah,
wouldn't be okay. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I was hearing stuff that was worse than it seems, but I mean, what you said, I mean, I believe that more than what I heard
yeah.
from others.
We'll see what. Sorry.
No. I mean, yeah, mainly like I don't know. The coordinators might be tough, but like I'm sure they'll bounce back out of it. I don't know. I will say my takeaway though from that Super Bowl is I don't really like Nick Sirianni that much, but
Really?
he just kind of annoys me.
Yeah. What part annoyed you?
I,
I didn't like how he was crying during the national
oh my
anthem.
bro.
That was just
The
so.
okay, if you want to fucking cry at the national anthem, whatever. But the fact that right before when it was America the Beautiful, whatever, the song before that was
Right.
performed, dude was just like he literally spit whatever on the camera. Like, bruh, it's just like, okay, dude. All right, like don't give a fuck about what was playing right before it. And then once it's national anthem, dude's like fucking sobbing. Um
Mhm.
yeah, it's a little and then I saw that thing of like he was doing like he was doing the Chiefs, what he was taunting the Chiefs, so like, oh, I'm not gonna do it because I don't wanna. But and
Yeah.
then Jalen
Good
Hurts is
no.
like, stop it, and he's like, oh, it's just like, it's fucking annoys me. Um, but everything else about Eagles is cool. But all right, really quick, if you had to who are the main? Okay, I'll say these two since that's the main discussion of football right now. Where do you think Rodgers is going to? What jersey is Rodgers going to be wearing next year, and what jersey is fucking Derek Carr going to be wearing next year?
Well, Rodgers is going to be either Jets or Raiders. It's looking like. I don't think he's going to stay with the Packers, which I love Rodgers, but I really want Jordan Love to play some
Yeah.
football. So I would say out of between the Raiders and the Jets, I would say probably the Raiders will probably want him a little more. Just because they got Devontae, they just cut Derek Carr, which is insane to me. Um,
Well, he had a no trade clause,
they
right? Like,
well, yeah, but even then, I mean, like it just doesn't make it. They should have let him. I mean, they let him communicate. They let him meet with the Saints.
yeah,
But I mean, there weren't really any other opportunities. I feel like they should have shopped him a little bit more. Um,
sure.
but there's not much they could have done in that position, to be fair. So I think Rodgers ends up going to Raiders probably.
It
Um,
seems like a Raiders move to go for
yeah,
him.
and then I would assume because of that, I would say either Derek Carr or Geno Smith go Jets, just depending on what the Seahawks do. The only reason why I would be honestly, I could very much see Rodgers go to the Jets instead because I think the Jets only want someone who's going to be there for 1 or 2 years because they're
Yeah.
keeping Zach Wilson. Um, they're very much in a win now. Like we need to make a splash.
Oh yeah, it's
While Zach
obvious
is a little
during
bit more development.
mid-season. I really quick. I'll let you talk again. Um, I think part of the big burden of that Jets team is they won too many games that like first half of the season because they
Right.
instantly were like super horny of like we can fucking win it, and
Mhm.
then but so yeah, it's clear like that's the mentality now. They got super hyped over that first half of the season because
Mhm.
yeah, that it seems like a move of Rogers. Them going for Rogers, but sorry, as you're saying.
No, it's cool. It's just about done actually. But yeah. So I mean, it's kind of a toss up. I think Carr. I honestly think Carr's going to go to the Saints. It feels like a really good fit there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I mean, there's not a ton of places that are like that needy of a quarterback, right? And Carr's not old at all. He can still play for another
Mm.
5 or 6 years, I would assume. I don't even know if he might be like just barely 30. Uh, but he's a young guy, and he's definitely not limited in the sense in both cap and age that Rogers is. Obviously Rogers is better, but I also think that Josh McDaniels is a fucking idiot. So that's my take. How about you?
Yeah.
Where do you think he's going?
Yeah, Josh McDaniels is a fucking bum. I called that last year. I don't know why the Raiders fucking hired him. I don't get how we live in 2020. Well, at that point it's 2022, and teams still want to do like the Patriots experiment of getting like a
Right.
coordinator and then seeing how it just. I mean, it's good for Josh Jacobs, I guess. But I don't even know. Yeah, and I think Derek Carr going to the Saints would probably be the smartest option because I am
Mhm.
assuming that the Saints this next year, I think they want to get Derek Carr probably for like a lower contract. I don't know how low Derek Carr is going to go, but I'm going to guess like I think this is a random off the cuff guess. I'm just going to say like 20 million, 25, something like that, around that range, maybe. I don't. You think that's too high or too low?
I would assume that Derek Carr, like no one thinks he's like a bad quarterback. I would say most people, the unanimous decision is he's like a good quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Um, I honestly think he's probably gonna a little higher than that. I would say anywhere between like 25 and 30 million probably.
Yeah.
On probably a 2 or 3 year deal, uh, and then probably a void year at the end.
Yeah. Because my guess is like Saints, it would be smart of them just to pick them up with that contract. And then like if Derek Carr just sucks, like they can just tank and
Yeah.
then they can have him that second year to be like a bet run or something like that. Cause that just seems like the smartest thing for the Saints to do at this point. I don't really think Jameis Winston's the future anymore. That's just kind of gone. So,
Yeah.
but it just dude gets hurt too much. I don't. It's just that, and then even when he's healthy. But yeah, okay. Well, damn. Well, Isaac, thanks for your predictions there. We'll see how that ages
No, of
out.
course.
We should
Yeah,
know
we'll
that
see.
Aaron Rodgers won. I feel like sooner.
No, he's gonna go on that darkness retreat in a few weeks,
Yeah.
so we'll have a little bit of
I
time.
thought that the darkness retreat was like this week.
It's in a
Oh,
little bit,
okay.
I think.
Well, shoot. I mean, so yeah, the main reason I was asking you about football stuff so much is so while you were trying to fix your computer, I was looking at Burundi news,
Mhm.
and um, there's not really much going on, if I do say so
What do you mean?
myself.
There's not much going on?
What I mean, so well, okay. I should say this. There's a very interesting headline that I see where it's four Burundi rights activists arrested while trying to travel, but it's paywalled behind the Washington Post, and I don't have the Washington Post.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, besides that, I see like the United Nations about human rights a submission by Human Rights Watch to the United Nations Committee against torture in advance of its adoption of a list of issues for Burundi's third reporting cycle. Um, oh wow, maybe I should. Oh my god. Okay, I am sorry. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
read
you
this
should
whole
have read
thing.
that one.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
wow. Well, it is a detailed report.
It is the UN. Uh,
I'm just
yeah.
trying to see if I can do quick, really smart journalism here and just find a quick sentence that really gets the point. Okay, wow. We should cover this more next time when I have time to read it. But it seems like there is a lot of bad no stuff the police is doing at Burundi.
Right. Yeah.
Um, New cases of summary execution, enforced disappearance, arbitrary arrest and detention, sexual violence, torture, and other cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment in 2018.
Hmm.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So there is
Basically, they're not complying with the UN human rights mechanism. That's the long story short.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say that's pretty major. But hey, it's cool if you think nothing's going on. Whatever, Nils. That's cool.
I
It's
don't
your
know
choice.
why. I don't know what I was just not reading. That I don't know why I didn't read that, but yeah, I guess that's pretty big. So yeah, that actually that's a bummer and kind of scary. About that because I feel like last year, at least on the Google News aggregator, we weren't really hearing a lot from like journalists there, and stuff like that, and like human rights stuff. But I'm seeing a lot of human rights news this week on the Google News aggregator.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, maybe next week, uh, I'll try to read this more, so I'm not just oh yeah, and there's more Burundi, Rwanda cross border stuff. But that I feel like we've been covering a good amount.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. You have anything to add to those, or we'll just
We
go to
can,
the
if we're tabling it, we're tabling it, right? So
yeah.
should be fine.
Okay, cool. Well, and we did enough sports talk, so I think it's time we talk about the movie this week. I'm gonna guess I'm not even gonna look at the year. Oh
Hold
wait,
on, Nils. Wait, Nils, slow down. First of all, you really got to take a second, all right? Because clearly you're just zooming through. Nils,
yep.
welcome to Stickscast number.
There we go. I know that I was. We both had that shared light bulb
Yeah.
happen the same exact time. Um, but yeah, look at us, episode 30.
Would have thought.
Well thought is perfect. I mean, who would have thought we would get to 30 episodes? But we're doing it, and we're gonna keep going. All right, so it's
Yeah.
not even. But by the time we would finish celebrating, we would be on episode 50. All right,
Who
so
knows?
that's the mentality we have here at the Stickscast movie cast. But yeah, but if we are to celebrate this 30th episode, Isaac, care to do a summary of the movie Vertigo that we're going to be talking about tonight?
Sure. Let me pull up the synopsis from our basically the only social media site that matters, according to Zach, which is Letterboxd, which has got a
Mm-hmm.
point to be fair.
Yeah.
Let's
Really
pull
quick,
up.
I wanted to hold on. That reminds me of a point about Letterbox. Where I remember in my mindfulness class last quarter, a lot of people are like, "Oh, social media is bad for you." Like, I just take a break of social media, and it's like, this is the thing. She equated like using Instagram to watching like film and movies, like they're the same, they do the same thing for the brain, and I would like extremely disagree on that.
Did you say that in
No,
class?
I didn't. This was like
Boo.
no. To be fair, this is like the second week of the class or something like that. Like I'm not gonna of the year. Like I'm not gonna be that guy that's like this film, bro. It's like no, but it was just kind of disgusting. I was like, you can't equate like scrolling on like Instagram Shorts to watching like uh film. Like those are two completely different experiences.
Mhm.
But anyways, but yeah, and then she's like, "Oh, you gotta quit the social media." I'm like, I could do that, but like, does that include Letterbox? Because like, I don't know. I don't know if I could quit Letterbox. It's fun. It's too fun. But sorry, Isaac. Yeah, you can say this.
That's cool. There's a lot of sorry, my throat's weird. There's a lot of studies going around that's like, oh yeah, social media is really bad. And then at that point you have to dictate, hey, what really is social media, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
everyone has different definitions of it. To some
Yeah.
people, letterboxd is social media, to some people it's not. It's an issue. That being said, another issue is male manipulators and specifically when they're in positions of power. Now,
Mm-hmm.
Vertigo. You said you weren't gonna. Would you like to guess the year?
1957.
1 year off, 1958.
Fuck.
So directed by Alfred Hitchcock. Alfred Hitchcock engulfs you in a whirlpool of terror and tension. A retired San Francisco detective suffering from acrophobia, had to read that a second time, investigates the strange activities of an old friend's wife, all the while becoming dangerously obsessed with her. So Nils, what did you think?
Let's use that summary, if you will. All right.
Mm.
The what is it? Alfred Hitchcock engulfs you into a world of tension and terror. Is that what was it? Well,
Yeah, no, I mean you got it backwards, but yeah.
yeah, that's a fucking lie. Like, I get it. There's a thing called tension and like, ooh, thriller, right? Like, the existence of a thriller really, it can make, if you are along the ride of the movie, you can get, all the feels and thrills, and it doesn't have to have like jump scares. All right. I'm not being that guy. But this movie is just not that. I don't know what the fuck people are talking about. All right. And I think I've seen 3 Hitchcock films now, and this is the worst one that I've
Oh
seen.
wow. Okay.
Um so I am just really not much of a Hitchcock guy. It's an old movie, and most old movies are bad. I will just flat out say it. If you're watching anything before 1960, I'm just gonna say anything before 1965, that movie, you if you are into movies before that came out, you're either old or you are a person who has like, I don't know if I want to I don't know if I want to say fetish, but not like a craving for like the trad wife domesticity aesthetic. Because I
Mhm.
really don't know why else it's just a thing. I can't stand it. But and I'll delve further into why. But Isaac, I'm curious as to what you thought of this film.
Yeah, so I think I've seen probably two of Hitchcock's films. So I'm not super familiar with a
Which
lot of
movies?
uh fuck. I really wanna make sure I don't, because all of our film guys are gonna get me. He was the one who did he do that one?
He didn't do Sharktale.
Uh did he do Cit he did Citizen Kane, right?
I don't think so.
Fuck. All right, maybe I haven't seen his movies. Listen, the point is, I'm a big fan of well actually, this I'm not I you know what? I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know why I picked this film. I just thought it looked cool on Letterboxd. Um, so I don't know. I think that I like thrillers, right?
Oh, really
And
quick. Citizen Kane was directed by Orson Welles. Sorry, back to you.
Orson Welles.
Yeah.
Really?
Mhm.
Shit. All right. Um, that's very surprising. Well, I guess I'm not familiar with Hitchcock's work. Oh my God, what fucking movie? I swear I've seen one movie. I just forget what it
Have you
was.
seen
Doesn't
Psycho?
matter. No.
Have you seen
Um,
The Birds?
I have seen the. All right, I
There
saw
we
the birds. Okay.
go. All right.
That's like my mom's like favorite movie because it scared the
Hey,
shit out of her growing
that's
up, and then
that's
when she
kind of the same
watches it
with my
now, she's
mom.
like, I can't believe myself.
Yeah,
Um,
my mom really likes that movie too.
mhm,
That's funny.
yeah. But no, so I don't know. I think that thrillers are really fun, and specifically when you get into like psychological elements of obsession, I feel like that gets really interesting. That being
Mhm.
said, this whole movie, I mean, it's really like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't the biggest fan of it. Um, it's just kind of like obsessive, but like not in the fun psychological thriller way, more in just like the oh, I now understand way.
Yeah, I like because I want to say we're a brave pair. I think this might be our bravest movie cast yet because this movie is like a critically acclaimed classic. It's like on the
Oh yeah.
Letterbox top 100 like movies. I mean I was I it's been this movie's been on my list. Like I've been wanting to
Mhm.
watch it a lot. But yeah, I don't I like throughout the movie. So like the first act, right? It's
Yep.
that right. So where it's this guy who's a police officer, right, and then his police friend falls and doesn't like catch him because he's scared of heights, right?
Right.
Um, and then like even that, I think we'll get into it later, but like Vertigo. So he has acrophobia, right? Or like it's like
Mhm.
vertigo from heights.
Right.
Did you like pick up on the emotional or like significance of that in this film?
Oh, emotional significance of Vertigo. Not entirely. I think it's kind of swept under the rug, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, like I'm thinking in retrospect of how his fear of heights, like obviously, so there's a big plot element, right, in terms of why
Yeah.
it's relevant.
Yeah.
But in terms of that being the title of the film and
Yeah.
it's the film's core, I don't really know why.
Hmm.
But yeah, if you didn't really notice it, then yeah, I don't really notice either. So that's
Yeah.
something to think about.
I also
Um,
want to mention, there's a lot of reasons I could be like, oh, I really didn't enjoy this movie. And to be fair, this is the case with, I mean, this was the case with Highlander for me. It's just
mhm,
like he's just like such a like sleazy asshole,
mhm.
because like before like the big first plot event, he's like, oh no, you love me, I love you,
Yeah,
and then yeah,
it was
it's
rough to
it's
watch.
just like what the fuck, it's not even like male manipulator, it's just like uh it's just like abusive. But it's, and I really hate that, probably, if I like posted this opinion on Letterboxd, um people would probably be like, oh, it's a different time. It's like, it doesn't matter, it's still shit. Like, but yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's just I didn't really like a lot of the chemistry the actors had, and maybe that was because of the story. But
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, because yeah, and so then to continue on, right? Then he is it's like an old friend of his, and he's like, "Oh, my wife randomly is possessed by a spirit, and I
Mhm.
need you to track her using your private detective skills." And then he does,
Right.
and then he's like, "Huh, I wonder what's going on." And then she jumps into the water. He saves her from the water, and then changes her clothes while she was knocked out. I think
Yep.
that's
Mhm.
and then um yeah, and then they immediately like fall in love and start smacking it up. Like the kisses are so gross to watch. It
Yeah.
probably like when you're a kid and when characters would kiss in movies, you're like, ew. Like
Right.
I didn't do that. I'm
It's like
still
violent.
fucking yeah. I'm still a grown ass adult, but like it
Yeah.
still kind of made me like ugh. It just dude, they were like going all in on those fucking kissing scenes.
Yeah. Also, guys, hey, listen, if you have a best friend who's a private detective, maybe don't hire them to follow your wife. Like, come on.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen?
Yeah, and then so well, and then there's the big thing, right? Is because then they go to this. It's this whole thing where then she's like, "Oh, well, I have one more memory," and they go to the memory, and
Hmm.
then she falls off a bell tower, right? And you're like, "Whoa, oh!" So I think this is when audiences they're in
Wah,
terror,
wah.
right? They're
Hmm.
engulfed in the terror,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to enter the mind of a fan of this film because I that's everyone else in this world right now. It's like it's just you and
Apparently.
I.
Yeah.
All right,
Hmm.
Noah's Ark. This
Red pilled. Red
yeah,
pilled.
this is it. Um, and so then he's like bummed out, and then he sees a woman that looks like her, and then it's just so weird. I was kind of then starting to be like, oh, is the movie then like the second half? Then I was like, oh, I was maybe starting to kind of get into a place where it's like, oh, this is why people really like it because then he's kind of really creepy in terms of he's like, I want you to
Right.
dress like her, and it's like,
Hmm.
oh, it kind of makes you cringe. But then it's like, nope. It turns out he was duped the whole time. And then I was
Yep.
like, oh, that's why people like it is kind of a good twist. I didn't really see it coming. So that's why I still think it's like I think you probably just like this movie a bit more than me. I still think it's like fine. I was more
Hmm.
just extremely disappointed by the hype. But I was like, okay,
Gotcha.
it's a film. It's a movie. Cool. Like it did its thing. And then and the ending is so funny where they're like she's running away and they're go up on the bell tower and a nun is there and then she just jumps off the bell tower and then the movie ends immediately.
Mhm.
That was really funny to me. But no, yeah, this was I don't know. And then like I mean there's some parts San Francisco didn't look too bad.
Mhm.
Um I don't know. Was there anything you liked about the movie as it?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the plot was well laid out. Like,
Yeah.
like you said, I mean, there's no denying that. Like, I think it was a well laid out plot. It's just like, and this isn't unique to this movie for me. It's just I really don't like the dynamic people have in these movies. Like for that time period you mentioned, that's like before 1965. It just seems like really, and honestly, after for most of it.
Yeah.
But it A doesn't seem organic, and B, if it was organic, that's terrifying. Um, but yeah, I mean, I just like you said, it's just kind of cringe, and that's really as simple as it gets. And it's weird when you say that something is quote unquote minor as that can ruin an entire plot. But I mean, for me, like the whole movie, I was looking at, it, I was like, this is the stupidest shit I've ever seen. Um, but yeah, I gave it 2 stars. Yeah. So
Damn.
what? How about you, Nels? What did you give it?
I gave it 3.
Okay.
So I don't know. Like it's shot fine and the story's fine. I will say though, when you were saying about like the chemistry, it's interesting because like the dynamics of the relationships of these characters do change,
Mm-hmm.
but like pretty, it goes from for some part of the film. I think actually this might be kind of a plus to the movie, but
Right.
while I'm watching it though, I was like, I don't know how to feel about it. So, but in retrospect, it is interesting how it's like you had the first part of the film where the dynamic is this guy thinks this woman's possessed by a ghost, right? And then it's like, oh, he falls in love with the possessed woman,
Mm-hmm.
and then they love each other so much, and then she's dead. So
Mm-hmm.
that, and then yeah, then it's another woman who we pretty much I'm like, oh, it's probably her, but it's like a stranger and this guy, and they're like, "Oh, yay." Like they're kind of falling in love, but he likes how much. That's the thing though. I am interested in would you maybe think right that the main character was maybe the whole time kind of using her for like the love to then maybe prove a case? Do you know what I mean? Like so the
No, I don't. I don't think the whole time. I mean, at the end, yeah, obviously, but I mean,
like
no, I
I'm
think
saying
most of it
ever
he was
since
just
the
being
character
obsessive.
died and he went to court or whatever,
Hmm.
from that point on. No, you still disagree?
No, I still disagree because he had like he had a whole like series of realizations, that were yeah, no. I mean, definitely at the end, but like I wouldn't say for the first like 3/4 minimum of that whole quote unquote relationship.
Okay. Because yeah, I'm more just thinking maybe it's like the guy was actually really smart and he was trying to then like he emotionally manipulate this woman. Like he knew from the start that this woman was the person that duped him. And so
Right.
then he was like slowly but surely trying to make her look more and more like the ghost woman that he thought died. So
Hmm.
then from that whole time he kind of knew. And then once he saw the amulet, it like all clicked and he had everything he could use then to for sure know it was her. Or
That's fair.
maybe because it's either that or it's like he just missed her so much and wanted this woman to be her. And then all of a sudden the dynamic of the relationship immediately changes once he sees the amulet. Um, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
two different directions.
Yeah. So I don't know, Isaac. Which movie do you like more, this or The Birds?
The Birds was entertaining, like really entertaining. That means that this had a really good plot. Um, honestly, it's been a while since I've seen The Birds, so I can't in good faith pick that, So I'd say this one.
Yeah, that's true. I
How
don't
about you?
know. Because I've seen Psycho, The Birds, and this. Um,
Also, by the way, I found I was looking it up and I found the other Alfred Hitchcock movie I've seen. It's Rear Window. Really good one.
Oh, how's that one?
Same actor. It's really good. I watched it in my film class in like sophomore year of high school. So
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll watch that then. Maybe
mhm.
that.
It's a good one.
Yeah. So no. Also, I will retract. I do think I'm not sure when Twilight Zone came out, but Twilight Zone's good. So maybe
Before
that
this, I
breaks.
think.
Let's see. When did Twilight Zone?
I think like the series.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's see. Do 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 do
Because
do do.
there's a movie that came out in 1983.
No, no, no. The series.
I'm pretty sure it's before, right? Oh, it was after.
Oh shit. 1959. Okay, my
Wow.
rule's
Okay.
broken. Shit. All right.
I could
Well,
have sworn it was before.
anyways,
Stranger Things.
anything besides that? Well, Isaac, then I guess last thing then, if because this movie is revered so heavily, why do you think people like it so much?
Lead in the water.
Just they too many people from like
Um,
Flint are watching this film.
no, I'm messing with you. I think, I think it's just like, I feel like this is just one of those like old people things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and obviously there's a lot of people from our generation that are like, oh, well, we love it. But
Yeah,
at the
because
same
that's a
time, I
big
think it's
thing.
yeah.
Letterbox is a lot of
Mhm.
like Gen Z or Zers like us are on it and they love
Yeah.
it. So
But at the same time, I think that the proportion of people who are actually like from our generation and using letterbox to an extent, it's a little more subjective than we might realize. I mean, if you look at statistical like significance, like populations of interest for this are probably film students are the biggest one,
mm,
because it's a social media app for movies. uh and I think I'm sure that there's people who weigh different things differently, but basically I think that the majority of people probably weigh it differently than we do, if that makes sense, or weigh different aspects of the film differently.
I
So
see.
that
And just
probably makes up for it.
yeah, just in terms of it's like filmmaking feats and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I will say also, whoever did like the HD remaster of this film did a good job. It looked
Oh
really
yeah.
crisp on Amazon. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, cool, cool, cool. Well, Isaac, I don't know how much time has passed because we are now
We don't
on
have a
Zoom
timer
Pro.
anymore.
So this feels weird. Is this what like
Yeah.
heaven feels like? There's no more timer to life.
I feel like this is like the other version of purgatory besides like the ferry terminal. It's just
Mm.
like a non-ending Zoom. So
Random
we're just gonna be
question. You've
here.
seen
Oh
Harry
shoot.
Potter, right?
No.
Have I
Sadly.
asked this on the podcast? Or am I,
I
dude?
don't think so.
How I hate this. I look like the biggest Harry Potter fan ever, right? Because I've asked. I swear. Besides, like I think Danny, he's seen it. Everyone
Mhm.
else I know has not watched the movies or read like I've only watched the movies. So every
Mhm.
time I ask, "Oh, you've watched like Harry Potter, right?" None of them have. So I always look like a super big Harry Potter fan when I'm not.
Oh yeah.
Damn it. Well, anyways, there's like a
I listen.
purgatory in that movie, and I wanted your thoughts
Oh
on it.
really? Oh awesome. I don't know if I'm ever gonna watch him. I'm still a big believer that all of Harry Potter is stupid because they should just either use normal guns. They should just use normal guns. Like, I think the biggest analogy I like to use is if you give like, 50 yards in an empty field with a dude with like a Barrett 50 cal, and then Harry fucking Potter, I'm like moderately confident if you just go, the dude with a 50 caliber is going to take his head off before he can say like Alakazam. So
Yeah.
I just a lot of it I feel like Voldemort should have just like hired like what's it called, Blackwater or something, like the PMC.
Oh yeah,
They would
yeah,
have
yeah.
gotten the job done. So that's just me. But I also haven't
Yeah.
read the books or seen the movies, so
Instead, he depended on the fucking Slytherin, like a bunch of teenagers. So,
yeah,
yikes.
blonde bitch. Yeah.
Um, but well, damn. It's another day, another time, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Stickscast movie cast Harry Potter.
dude,
All seven movies. Is it seven or eight?
it's eight because seven split into two. And
Oh, I thought it was six books and it was okay.
um the funny thing is that also like every now and then I'm like, oh, Leah, we should watch those movies or whatever. Like, because she hasn't
Mhm.
seen them. I'm like, it'd be kind of fun. and each movie is like 2 hours and 45 minutes long. Like that is such a commitment. You need to be like on unemployment benefits or like a kid or something to watch all those
Right.
movies. I don't know
Hmm.
how else you
Maybe
can.
that's the charm, though. Oh, also, Nils, happy Valentine's Day from the Stickscast community. Uh, how was your Valentine's Day, Nils?
I had a I like how really quick. I like how we didn't talk about Valentine's Day at all, but
I
instantly
forgot it
talked
happened.
about talked about the Super Bowl for our opener of it. Valentine's Day it was fun. No, it was really nice. I cooked up some chicken Alfredo at Aaliyah's, and then we
Yeah,
just ate that there. So it
cute.
was fun.
Nice. I got drunk in a basement.
Did you watch anything for Valentine's Day? You just drank and stare at a wall.
I drank beer in a basement while playing Pong with about 10 other single guys. Um, we also ate
Nice.
Domino's pizza. It was a good time. It was a
Did
good
you
time.
kiss the winner?
No, no,
Uh
that would defeat the
that's
purpose.
wait, no,
Uh,
no, that would be the ultimate purpose of
well, no,
Valentine's.
because we're there because we're single, right? And so
Yeah,
if someone like started making out with another guy, it would be like, all right, well,
go do your
clearly you
own
got
date.
yeah,
Yeah.
clearly you got your own shit going on for Valentine's Day, so we can't do that.
Okay, I see. I see. Well,
Yeah.
shoot. All right. Well, Isaac, David, any final like closing thoughts for this Sticks Cast movie cast episode 30?
Yeah. So this is just some advice for the gentleman out there. Um, Generally speaking, if a woman doesn't want to make out with you, you don't grab her and then pull her closer, like very, very like slowly,
Mm-hmm.
like menacingly, and
Mm-hmm.
then start like forcibly making out with her. Or she'll throw herself off a roof, apparently. And
All
it's just a bad
right.
thing to do, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
It's just a
yeah,
bad thing to do.
yeah. All right. Yeah, I like that.
So don't do that.
Yeah, that's it. And yes, that's a good message, Isaac.